Folks, welcome back again to another episode of Star Power Baseball, the Rulebook. This is episode 26, and we're going to get back into dealing with playing the game. Once again, hey, I'm Dennis, your host, coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful Siloam Springs. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers, the more content that we can bring you, and you'll receive all notices of future new videos. Also, if you like this video, we sure appreciate that. This is episode 26 coming to you today. By the way, if you haven't joined up, please go to Facebook and get on our Star Power Baseball group. It's free. The answer to the questions, Ethan Allen and Cooperstown. There's your answers. So just pop it in there and join the group. We'd appreciate it. Anybody that answers the questions, I don't turn you down. Let's get it done. We're up to over 300 members. By the way, new games will be coming out. I've got them ready to go. If you're ready for them, they run $99. That includes shipping. Find me, call me, text me, email me, whatever. Okay, enough of the advertising. Let's move on. Today's episode is going to deal with more of the sequence of play, and it's going to be step number 2, position the defense. So let's just dig right into step number 2 and position our defense. Once the batter is announced, and we've done that, once the batter gets announced, then it's time for the defense to position the defense. You can be as simple as saying standard defense or as complex as you want to be. Show where each player is. As you decide where to play your fielders, keep in mind that each decision you make that involves moving fielders from their normal positioning changes the way the game could play out. If you move your first baseman in for a bunt prevention, or if you move your shortstop and third baseman, whatever you do will affect the positioning, will affect the results. So be careful that you don't overcoach. The players can play, man. They're major leaguers. Okay. There are 5 basic types of defense. We're going to discuss all of them. We're going to go over them one at a time. And today we're going to work on the first one, but let's just talk about what they are. Standard defense, no fielders out of the ordinary position. No play will be conducted normally. Spin the pitcher, spin the batter, move on. Bunt prevention defense, and we'll get into that. Run prevention defense, base runner defense, and defensive indifference. Those are the 5 types of defense that you can play. Now, with the exception of defensive indifference, all the others are announced as soon as the batter is announced. Then you announce what type of defense you're in. Defensive indifference will happen during the play. All right, let's jump right into the first one on the board here after standard defense, which means my players are in normal positions. Let's get into the first one here, bunt prevention defense. If a batter is a threat to bunt, with runners on, with no runners on, if it's a sacrifice bunt situation, if it's a drag bunt situation, you have Ty Cobb up. He's a sack 3, bats left, 55 plus base runner. This guy can put the ball on the ground. If you have TJ Friedel up, sack 3, bats left, 44, 45 base runner. This guy's a threat to bunt with runners on, with nobody on. So you might want to position your defense in what we call a bunt prevention defense. If a batter's a threat to bunt, you may declare that the first baseman, the third baseman, or both are in to help prevent the bunt. Either or both. When the drag bunt card or the sacrifice card is spun, if any corner infielders were moved in and the result lands on a space with a moved fielder represented, then you may use that fielder's rating in determining the result. If the result of the card lands on a corner infielder that was not moved, the offense automatically wins the spin. It's easy. It's written there. He gets to choose the adjacent color-coded result. But basically, remember back to the episode we talked about winning the spin? The offense, if you're not moved in, third baseman's back and TJ Friedel bunts, he automatically wins the spin if it goes to third base. Okay. The shortstop and second baseman will never be moved to be in bunt prevention defense. They're never moved. And if spin lands on their position, you'll always use their rating to attempt the play because they're there. Okay? If you choose to be in bunt prevention defense anytime a 2 or a 12 is spun by the batter and the ball is hit to the side of the infield where that fielder was moved, perform a location spin. Okay? So like if it's a 2 and it's a pull and it's to the third base side, spin. If that spin lands directly on the fielder that was moved, if it lands directly on the fielder that was moved, then that ground ball gets through and it's a base hit, a single, and it will either be fielded by the left fielder or the right fielder, depending on which one it was, pulled opposite, depending on what hand the batter batted. That simple. Let's just suppose I have my third baseman in, Ty Cobb is batting, Ty Cobb doesn't bunt, and the pitcher spins a B, Ty Cobb spins a 12. That's a ground ball opposite. I spin the infield card, location spin, and if it lands directly on, let's go back and look at it. If it lands directly on third base on a 12, Ty Cobb, that's a single to left field. Okay? There it is. It's that simple. Now, you're going to have some questions, you're going to have some comments. Feel free to leave the questions in the comments section, or you can email me at warhammerworld@hotmail.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm Dennis, coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful Siloam Springs. We're glad that you tuned in. And hey, remember this, guys, dice are nice, but the spin is in. We'll see you next time. Star Power Baseball.